The Balkans and the countries within the region are likely familiar to many. These countries are typically small in size, inhabited by warm people, and generally have temperate weather conditions. These nations, often sparsely populated, gained independence from past empires, but have shown limited development since. One such country is Albania, covering just 28,000 square kilometers and home to only 3 million people. Yet Albania's influence reaches beyond its borders. In North Macedonia, 1 in 3 people identifies as Albanian, and in Kosovo, more than half of the population speaks Albanian and considers themselves Albanian. Albania was once part of the Ottoman Empire. After the Ottomans lost control of the region, the country was invaded by countries like Italy, Greece, and Serbia. As a result of these occupations, Albanian society fell under the influence of communism while trying to find its identity. Even today, when you visit Albania, you can observe the significant impact of the Ottomans and Italians on Albanian culture, cuisine, and way of life. For instance, Italian leaders' names have been given to squares, such as Victor Emmanuel Square, and well-known Albanians have been given Italian names, like Mother Teresa. After the Ottomans and Italians, Albania entered a period of communism. Albania had a very famous and important communist leader, Enver Hoxha, who led the Albanian Labour Party from 1941 to 1985. Hoxha, who ruled Albania for about 41 years, is credited with increasing the country's literacy rate from about 5% to 90%, building various railways and eradicating epidemics. However, he closed all religious institutions in the country and turned Albania into a secular state, completely banning religion and establishing an atheist state. If you visit Albania today, you will see numerous underground tunnels, many of which were built by Enver Hoxha as a precaution against potential war. These tunnels have now been repurposed into museums. One of these tunnels is situated in the center of the capital. If you are interested in the remnants of communism, the rooms and artifacts in these underground tunnels can be quite captivating. At one point in time, people were subjected to difficult and harsh conditions, and now the memories of those times are open to visitors. Therefore, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the effects of communism also ended in Albania. Sadly, during that time, the country fell into a governance vacuum. Some Albanians were given the opportunity to migrate to Italy and acquire Italian citizenship, while others went to various regions of Europe. Albania is currently experiencing a shortage of middle-aged people. When visiting the capital, you will notice a larger presence of Generation Z youths aged 18 to 20, as well as very elderly people. Despite being influenced by other nations and cultures for many years, Albanians have managed to progress into modern times without losing their identity. However, many aspects of their daily lives reflect a blend of influences from the nations they have been under. For instance, about half of the country's population is Muslim, and they consume dishes derived from Turkish culture. Additionally, some people's appearances have characteristics inherited from the Ottomans. On the other hand, their fashion, sports, and clothing styles are influenced by Italians. Interestingly, some Albanians do not follow their country's football teams, but instead watch Italian leagues, feeling closer to Europe than to Asia. Many people living in the Balkans are low-income individuals, and their money is less valuable compared to the rest of Europe. Since many of them are not members of the European Union, they use their own currencies. Even countries like Romania and Greece, which are members of the European Union, still use their own currencies. The currency of Albania is called the Albanian lek. €1 is equivalent to 102 Albanian leks. If you are used to earning euros and believe that you can purchase a lot when you visit Albania, unfortunately, that's not the case. The cost of everything from groceries to restaurants and stores is quite high, with hardly anything priced below 200 leks. This explains the reason why Albanians use very high denomination banknotes, such as 2,000 lek notes. Similarly, they have coins with high values, such as 5, 20, and even 100 leks. To get an approximate euro value for each Albanian currency, you can simply remove 2 zeros. For instance, you can consider 1,000 Albanian leks as being equivalent to $1, which shows that Albanian money remains relatively low in value compared to the euro. Albanians have their own unique language, officially known as Albanian. However, it has been influenced by Greek and Serbian due to the 10,000 years of Eastern Roman rule and by Turkish and Arabic during the 400 years of Ottoman rule. Despite these influences, Albanian bears similarities to Latin and Germanic languages. As a result, Albanian speakers can usually understand and quickly learn Italian and German. However, only Albanian is officially recognized in the country. For example, there are no official language education programs other than Albanian in schools, and you need to use this language to conduct business in public institutions. Not all residents living here are Albanians. 82% of the population is Albanian, while the remaining 18% includes Italians, Middle Easterners, various Balkan communities, and Roma communities. The smaller percentage is made up of Romanians, Bulgarians, Montenegrins, and Greeks. Foreigners from various parts of the world come to Albania to conduct business and settle with their families. For example, Italians may open clothing stores while Arabs and Turks may open kebab shops. Those arriving from outside Albania typically first arrive in the capital Tirana. Unlike most other Balkan countries, Albania has the advantage of direct access to the sea, allowing people to enter the country by sea or by land. If you are flying into the capital Tirana, there are some important locations you should be aware of. One key spot is Skanderbeg Square, located in the heart of the capital. Albanians consider this place the heart of Tirana. It is a large square and one of the busiest locations in the city. Here you will also find the statue of Skanderbeg. If you're wondering who Skanderbeg is, he is a figure from the early 1400s who is now considered the national hero of Albanians. During the communist regime, this square used to be closed to pedestrian traffic, but after its collapse, it was decided that this vast area would become a social space for the public. Apart from the main square, Albania also features a large pyramid. If you make the effort to climb to the top of this pyramid, you'll have the chance to see most of Tirana from above. This pyramid was built in honor of Enver Hoxha during his time and was designed by his son-in-law. In addition to the main squares in the capital, it's also important to touch on the characteristic features of the people living here, especially Albanians. This will give you a rough understanding of their social structure. Despite being next to other European countries, Albania hasn't developed much, and one wonders why. People appear to live day to day, leading unplanned lives. I suppose this situation stems from recent war traumas, the influence of bad political leaders, or maybe the people really just don't like to work. Additionally, Albania doesn't often make headlines in daily life. Frankly, I don't see Albanians in the world news much. They're not known as experts in any field of work, and I haven't heard of any famous brands associated with them. Perhaps these people are really not hardworking. However, one thing that makes Albania stand out from its neighboring Balkan countries like Kosovo and North Macedonia is its larger tourism income, thanks to its coastline directly on the sea. Many people from Europe visit Albania for affordable beach vacations. The people in Albania, like in most Balkan countries, are known for being friendly, helpful, and warm towards outsiders. The beautiful climate in the region, with sunny, temperate weather, likely contributes to the positive character and smiling faces of the people. It is worth noting that cities like Vlora and Saranda are even more expensive than the capital Tirana. You might wonder how much the average person earns monthly and whether they earn enough to support a family. Although there is seaside tourism in the area, monthly incomes are not very high. The minimum monthly income in the country is only equivalent to $400. Albanians earn an average of around $500 to $600 a month from their jobs. There seems to be dissatisfaction with this, as Albanian leaders are attempting to raise salaries to the $900 range. In various countries in Europe, such as Switzerland and in the United States, people are paid hourly wages. However, this concept does not exist in Albania. Here people earn money based on a fixed monthly salary, not according to working hours. Therefore, young people from Albania, as well as other Balkan countries, tend to move to more developed European countries for a permanent life, especially after completing their education. Among the countries they migrate to are Germany, France, and Italy, due to the wide range of job opportunities available. When searching for rental apartments in the capital Tirana, it's almost impossible to find one for less than $400 per month. To maintain a decent standard of living in the capital, at least 2 out of a family of 4 need to work, bringing in a minimum net income of around $1,500 per month. Family is extremely important in Albania, and like in other Balkan countries, Albanian people lead a family-oriented life. Typically, a husband and wife in Albania see 2 children as sufficient. In terms of religion, People are free to believe in whatever they want without facing any religious oppression. This region has been ruled by European kingdoms and Muslim states like the Ottoman Empire for many years. Today, countries like Albania have numerous mosques and churches, and throughout the day, you can hear the call to prayer from mosques and the ringing of church bells. Unlike in some places, religious beliefs are not a symbol of power in the Balkans and don't directly translate into political power. This means that politicians in these countries are not influenced by religious politics and are required to formulate smarter policies. It's also common for individuals in the same family to adhere to both Islam and Christianity. For example, in a Christian Albanian family, even if there is only one Muslim member, the Christian individuals might fast on the last day or two of Ramadan out of respect for the Muslim family members' beliefs. This brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.